Never start your first crochet project with a blanket. I know, everyone tells you that's the easy one. It's not. It's actually one of the hardest things you can pick for your very first try. And that's exactly why so many people buy a hook and some yarn, get 3 rows in, and never touch it again. If you've ever felt like crochet was not for you because you tried and gave up, I promise you it wasn't you. It was the project you picked. So today, I'm going to walk you through a bunch of crochet ideas that actually make sense for beginners. Things that look impressive, that people will think took you hours of practice, but that you can actually finish without wanting to throw your yarn across the room. We're talking small, cute, useful things that build your skills one step at a time. So by the end of this video, you'll have a real list of projects you can start today in the right order without wasting money on yarn you'll never use. Let's talk about why so many beginners quit. It's not because crochet is hard. The stitches themselves are simple once you get the hand motion down. The real problem is that most beginners start with the wrong project. They see a gorgeous blanket on Pinterest or a huge sweater on TikTok. They get excited, they buy the yarn, and then they realize halfway through that they don't actually know how to fix a mistake or count their stitches or read a pattern properly. And instead of finishing something small and feeling proud, they get stuck on something big and feel like a failure. Another problem is that a lot of beginner tutorials online are not actually made for beginners. They use terms like front post double crochet or invisible decrease in the first 5 minutes, and if you don't already know what a normal stitch looks like, that's just noise to you. It's confusing, it's discouraging, and it makes people think they're just bad at this, when really the content just wasn't built for where they were starting from. So, here's the plan. We're going to go from the easiest possible projects, using just 1 or 2 stitches, all the way up to slightly more advanced but still totally doable beginner pieces. Every single one of these teaches you a new skill without overwhelming you. The first project, and honestly, the best place for anyone to start, is a coaster. Just a simple round coaster. You only need 1 stitch to make it, usually single crochet, and you're working in a circle, so it only takes maybe 15 or 20 minutes. The reason this is so good for beginners is that it teaches you how to work in the round, which is something you'll use in almost every future project, from hats to stuffed animals to bags. And because it's small, if you mess up, you're not losing hours of work. You just pull it out and start again. Make 4 or 5 of these in different colors, and you already have a cute little set for your coffee table, and you already understand one of the core skills in crochet. Once you've got a few coasters under your belt, move on to a granny square. This is probably the most famous beginner project in all of crochet, and for good reason. A granny square teaches you how to combine stitches, how to work in the round with corners, and how to change colors, which is a skill people think is advanced, but is actually really simple once you've done it once. The beautiful part about granny squares is that a single square looks nice on its own as a coaster or a small mat, but if you make a bunch of them, you can sew them together into a blanket, a bag, even a vest. So this one project can grow with you. You're not stuck making the same thing over and over. You're building blocks that turn into something bigger whenever you're ready. Next, I want you to try a simple headband or ear warmer. This is where you start working in straight rows instead of circles, which is a different skill and a good one to practice. You crochet a long rectangle, and then you either sew the ends together or add a button to close it. It only takes 1 evening, it uses very little yarn, so it's cheap to try, and it's something you can actually wear out the door the next day. There's something really motivating about making an accessory you can put on your body immediately. It feels different than making something that just sits on a shelf. After that, try your hand at a small pouch or a mini bag. This is where you start combining what you've learned. You're working in the round, like the coaster, but now you're also increasing the size as you go and maybe adding a strap using a simple chain. A lot of people make these as little pouches for lip balm, cards, or coins, and they make genuinely great gifts. People are always shocked when you tell them you made it yourself, because store-bought versions look almost identical, but yours took maybe an hour and cost you a few dollars in yarn. Now here's one that a lot of people don't think of as a beginner project, but it really is: amigurumi keychains. Amigurumi is just the word for those small stuffed crochet animals and characters you see online. A full-size amigurumi doll can be tricky, but a tiny keychain, like a small heart, a star, a little cactus, or a simple round animal face, is honestly one of the most satisfying beginner projects out there. You're using the same in-the-round skill from the coaster, but now you're also learning how to increase and decrease stitches to shape something, and how to stuff it before closing it up. When you finish your first one and clip it onto your bag or your keys, it genuinely feels like a real achievement because it looks like something you'd buy from a cute little shop. Once you've made a couple of these small projects, you'll notice something. All of them used maybe 3 or 4 stitches total: single crochet, chain, slip stitch, and a basic increase or decrease. That's it. That's the secret nobody tells beginners. You don't need to learn 50 stitches to make beautiful things. You need to get really comfortable with a small handful of them, and then you can combine them in different ways to make almost anything. This brings me to what I think is the real turning point for any beginner, the moment where crochet actually clicks. It's not a fancy stitch or an expensive hook. It's the moment you realize that every single crochet pattern, no matter how complicated it looks, is really just a sequence of these same basic stitches repeated in a certain order. That giant, gorgeous blanket you saw on Pinterest that made you want to quit before you even started, it's made of the exact same stitches as your little coaster. It's just repeated more times in a bigger shape. Once that clicks in your head, you stop being scared of patterns. You start looking at something advanced and thinking, okay, I know what a single crochet is. I know what an increase is. I can figure this out. Instead of thinking, this is too hard for me. That's why starting small isn't a compromise. It's actually the fastest way to get good. Every coaster, every granny square, every little keychain is quietly teaching you the exact skills you'll need for bigger projects later. You're not wasting time making boring beginner stuff. You're building the foundation that makes everything after this easier. Once you've gone through a few of these projects and you're feeling more confident, that's when I'd say you're ready to try a simple beanie or a small tote bag. Both of these use the exact same skills you've already practiced, just on a slightly bigger scale. A beanie is basically a bigger, taller version of that circle you made for your coaster, just with a change in stitch height as you go. A tote bag is really just a bigger, taller version of that little pouch with 2 straps instead of 1. See how none of this feels like a giant leap? That's the whole point. I also want to say something about yarn and hooks, because this trips up a lot of beginners too. You do not need to buy expensive yarn for any of these projects. A basic acrylic yarn from any craft store works perfectly fine while you're learning, and honestly, it's easier to work with than a lot of fancy yarns because it doesn't split as easily. Save the beautiful, soft, expensive yarn for later, once your stitches are more even and you're not constantly pulling things out. As for hooks, you really only need 1 or 2 sizes